So in this video, we're going to look at how can we improve our skills at being a Magfed player. And the way that we're going to do that is really take a look at how can we improve our reloading skills. So whether you're a veteran player or a new player just starting off in Magfed, stay tuned. So for starters, we first have to understand what Magfed paintball is. So Magfed is short for magazine fed. And all it is a magazine is loaded with paintballs. That magazine is then fed into a paintball gun, and that paintball gun then shoots those paintballs. That's Magfed. Now this video is only going to focus on the techniques and principles of reloading. I'm not going to be looking at different guns that are on the market, different plate carriers, harnesses, battle belts, all that. I'm not going to be looking at that. What I want to look at is how to improve our skills with the techniques of reloading. Because although it can be unpopular, a lot of times this stuff has nothing to do with the gear you have. It has to do with how proficient you are with the skills. So that's what we're going to be focused on today. Whatever reason we have for playing Magfed, whatever we enjoy for it, one of the biggest disadvantages of playing Magfed paintball is the fact of reloading. A hopper player can shoot and reload at the same time. However, we don't have that luxury. Once you fire, and then once you go empty and you have to reload it, that whole time you cannot shoot back. So the more time you have between your reloads, the more likely you're going to get shot because you can't fire back. So the goal here is to decrease the amount of time you're reloading so that you can be more active on the paintball field and not just a target. The two main elements of reloading are speed and reliability. So speed is obviously the time that it takes from when I'm firing to then reloading and being able to fire again. I want to decrease that time. Reliability means that can I do this without messing up, and how consistently can I do that? Here's one myth. There is no best way to reload. Some people can argue different points here and there. The bottom line is you're going to have to try some of these and figure out what is the best technique for you in the situation you're dealing with. If you only practice one, that's only the one you're going to be good at, and that may be something you're very reliable at, but it may not be adaptable to the situation. So it's good in the beginning to try different ones, see what you're most comfortable with, and see what really works for you overall, depending on your gameplay, depending on your setup, and overall just what your comfort level is. So here's a tip when you're reloading with the magazines. First, look at the magazine in the magazine well. When grabbing magazines for reload, don't grab higher than that line. If you do, you'll have more struggles reloading the magazine because the hand that is holding the magazine will stop the magazine from going in the hand well. So you don't want to be playing on the field, grabbing your magazine real quick and just be frustrated, then have to reposition. You want to get it right the first time. So here are some types of reloading that we're going to look at. This one is the 3 R's, or release, return, reload. So obviously it states it as it should is you release the magazine, you return it to your pouch or your pocket, and then you reload the next magazine. As you can tell, this one is slower, however it is very reliable. It also works well for players that happen to have smaller hands because it gets full control. Your hand isn't multitasking 2 objects at the same time. This next style is the V or the L style. And the reason it's called that is because you put your magazines together at a 90-degree angle. So you have one magazine in your hand, you place it up against the magazine that you want to exchange, hit the release, it drops out, and you switch. You can either do this front facing or back facing, depending on what your preference is and again, how your setup is. This can be a little bit of a challenge for individuals that have smaller hands or if the magazines are large. There you go. The third one we're going to look at is called the stacked reload. This is where you take one magazine, put it right up against another with a little bit of space in between it. When you release that first magazine, it drops out and then you slide the new one in. You release the empty mag once you have your new mag in position. If you do not have spacers, you can also put your finger in between the magazines and has it act as a spacer. The next reload we're going to look at is what's called the drop. This one is just honestly releasing the magazine with one hand, letting it actually fall, gravity feed, pulling out your next magazine with your other hand at the same time and reloading it in. This one is very quick. It is reliable because gravity is always gravity and it's always on. The downside is you're letting your magazines just hit the ground. So if you are advancing or moving quite a bit, you might leave your magazines behind and you may not be able to retrieve them all. However, this works really well if you're in a defending position where the enemy is coming on you and you may not be able to move, or you don't plan on moving, because you can just keep dropping your mags right there, knowing you'll collect them later if you win or if you get eliminated. One tip is, as you practice these reloads more and more, you'll be able to start what we call counting your shots and being able to predict when you're getting close to the end of your magazine. That way, if you do some of these other reloads, you can already start prepping the next magazine for the reload even before you come to the end. This again decreases the amount of time where you are unable to shoot and decreases your reload speed. The bottom line is, if you do not work on these skills, you will not really see an improvement in your gameplay. So just like every other sport, and especially in paintball, a lot of it comes down to practice. And I know that isn't popular, it's something we don't want to hear, but in order to get better at these skills, it's something you have to routinely practice and get used to until it becomes like second nature, because you have developed the muscle memory for it. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope if you are already a veteran Magfed player, you learned some different ways to reload, or at least maybe some tips. If you're a new Magfed player, hopefully you will learn the importance of learning these reload skills, so when you go out there, you can be a more proficient player on your team. I want to thank you for watching. Please hit like or subscribe if you like the content. More importantly, I hope you get out there, support your local fields, and I'll see you out there. Thanks for watching.